So the first thing I do is, when I receive this exile form, I just try to reading this and to figure out how many sounds I need to create and how many events I need to do and about the game think. And because this exile form is many years ago, so there are many sound events I are not the right one. So I used the Cube's original project as a reference and do some research on the internet and try to make some of the events are in the right are the latest. So as you can see, the orange one is a new event ID we need to do now. And before I start my create project, I also do another things is I try to make a mind map. So it's like just like that. So maybe some of the hierarchy is not right because it's just earlier things that I do when I do that. But it can really help me to know how many things we need to do. And for example, for the players, there are full step for player defeated, ping, and jump. All the things we need to do for the player. So it can make me more clearly to know how many things I need to record and need to create, and give me more confidence to start my project. And as we know that we need to make the original soundtrack for this whole game. So there are three ways that where my sound come from. So the first way is I try to layer the sound from the sound library. For example, well, all these things I did in the Reaper, in this DW, because I think it is more useful. It is quite easy to use when you make some game sound. So the first thing I have to do is try to find the right sound from the sound library and try to layer them to make the sound I like and I think I want to use. And also some I use the FX in this DW to make the sound. So most of sound have two or more than two layers. And for example, this is a footstep of the player's sand footstep. So the first layer I make is it's just something about sand, but I think this is too low and I want to more crisp. So I just add some sound about snow. So now the footstep is more crisp and more heavy, and because this is a sand footstep, and I remember in the game the sand is in the water, so I think maybe we need to some sound about the water. So at last I add some water drop things. When we solo this, it's just a tiny one, but it can make the sound much better. So this is how I make most of my audio sounds, to layer and to do some manipulate. And the second way I find my sound is I record them. So I have a handy recorder that's Zoom H6, and I record the sound in my room. Some of the footstep and some of the players' voices, the monster voices, and some of the maps voices that especially the DCP enter. So I record it by using my recorder and I input into this Reaper, and like that, I try to find the one that is best and think I want to use that, and I add some FX like the EQ, and the distortion to make the sound what I want and what it should be in the game. For example, I make the sound like this. Main control room open. So it's more like electronic and industry factory in the game. So this is what I like, and after I done this, I cut it and output and then input into the Wwise project. And the third ways I make my sound is all the music I was create in the Logic using MIDI. So these are the three ways I found my sound and create my sound. So now let's back to the project. So basically I follow the way which we used in the class to make my own project because I think it's efficient and it is clearly and easily to make. And as you can see, I use different color to distinguish to distinguish the different items. For example, all the players' sound are red, monsters are green, and music are purple. And of course, in the events, I also use different color and the same color to connect the events and audio. So I can clearly to know this audio belongs to which event. So it is more easily to make the work. And for manipulate the sound in the Wwise, so many sounds I use make the randoms, like for the breaks, the gym breaking sound. So even though I have 4 different sound of gym breaking, but I also use the pitch randomizer. So every time the sound will be different or pitch, so make the sound much better and much different. And also I use another thing that we didn't learn in the class is the positioning. For example, for the teleporter, I use positive the positioning and use attenuation. So that's when we in the different distance to the teleporter, the sound, the volume and the low pass filter will be different. So for example, let's play that. And when you're far away and close to it, or in different angle, the sound will all be different. So this will show in the game and will make the game much real and much better. And for most the like the monster sound, the monster, the pain, the full step or the fire, some things I also do the attenuation, the positioning things. And for the breaking, let's back to the breaking. I also do another thing about positioning is a 3D position. I use the listening with automation, because as we know, that's when you're breaking something, the things will not follow always in the same way, not at the same way. So I create 7 different paths. So every time the gym breaking things will follow the different paths, and like the things in the real world will do. So every time it will choose to the different paths, so it can make things much different and much better. And for the music, I totally follow the way we did in the class. So I use like the combat attack music. I use different random or sequence way, and because there are some different switches and the states. So when you're in different health, and the music, the percussion will choose the different segment, and so it can make the music much more different and much more interesting. And for the heartbeat and breathing, I also use the blend track, so the breathing and heartbeat things will follow the player health. When the player health is in different level, the volume of the breathing and the voice and the pitch will all be different. Same as the heartbeat. And after I done all the work in the audio and the events, I using the mixer to mixing all my work. I create different mixing desk and different sound caster, so that I can know, okay, in this event, so which the volume level is. It is better, it's the best volume, and also I can using the mixing desk to to filter the different sound and to add some effect for the different in the aux channel or in the other channel. Okay, so now I'm going to show you in my game. Let's generate a game just in case, and let's go to the game. So first I'm going to stay in the default map because I want to show you the different sound of fire and the positioning things of the portal. Okay, so now at that place you can barely hear the sound of this portal, this door, but when we get closer, the sound is much larger. And when we turn to left, the sound is in the right, and when we turn to right, the sound is in the left. And of course, when this thing is moving, the sound is also different. So this is what I want to do: make the things positioning, make the sound much real. And for the breaking things, the breaking is just a very last piece of this sound, which this is. So you can hear the breaking is in a different paths. And this is ice stream sound, and this is poison. I use some liquid sound and fire gem. There is also a lightning. I use the lightning sound, more electronic. And there is a super gem. I want to show you So when you hold the super gem, all your fire will be granted and epic. So this is I want to show in this default map. Now I'm going to load the DCPG core map. So when you loaded a new map, all the sound will stop at first and then reloaded the new sound and new music. So in this map, I want to show you the music change and the heartbeat and the breathing change by the health. So now the music is Explorer music, and when you find the monster, the music will turn to the combat music. When the monster is dead or monster is despair, the music will back to the Explorer music. This is I recorded by myself.
Drainage system access granted.
So now our health is 64. You can hear our heartbeat now. And when the health you get lower, the heartbeat will be larger and heavily, and also you can hear the breathing. Okay, oh my, now it's 13. You can hear our heartbeat is so heavy and breathing so heavy. And when our health is get lower, the music when we get into the combat will also different. The percussion will choose the more heavily and more quickly one. And when you defeat it, the music will down and turn into the defeated music because we use the music switch things. So basically, this is what I want to show you about my Wwise project and how I make sound for the Cube game. And to be honest, I really learned a lot of things from this assessment, and I know how to make sound for the game, how to use the Wwise to create the positioning things, random scenes for the sound, to make the music different, the sound different. Even though there are some problems when I using the software, but luckily it had a great result. So thank you for your listening and thank you for your watching, and hope you have a nice day.